Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Producer's Perspective Live. And just so you know, in just a little bit of time, in a few short days, I don't know, maybe as soon as tomorrow, depending if Mary, my producer, just gets up off her butt. I mean, she's been slacking. It's very hard to find people to work 7 days a week these days. I don't know. In just a few, probably not tomorrow. I'm already putting so much pressure on her. That moment where I go live, where I'm always like, oh, we're live. You know that moment where I'm like deer in the headlights, I'm just staring at the screen waiting for it to go? That's going to go away. You know why? Because we're going to have like a theme song introduction. That's right. The Producer's Perspective Live is going real. So stay tuned for a few episodes from now. Hopefully tomorrow, Mary, if you're watching. Let's bring her on. Mary, when are we going to have this theme song?
Soon.
What does soon mean? I like deadlines. You work for me. You know that.
Whenever you say then. I mean, tomorrow?
That's what I like. Let's go for tomorrow.
Okay. Tomorrow.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you. See that? Right. That's how you get things done. Deadlines. She's the best. I kid her a lot, but she's doing a fantastic job learning all this stuff on the fly. Welcome back. We have an amazing guest tonight. The one, the only Justin Guarini is here. Justin Guarini, of course, famous for his appearance on American Idol, but television, American Idiot, Wicked, Women on the Verge, Once Upon a One More Time, the new musical appearing on Broadway this fall. This guy can do it all. He's done a lot of television stuff as well. Look at him. He's a very handsome man as well as a fantastic singer, fantastic talent. Quite an inspiration. He co-hosted our super conference this year and was a heck of a lot of fun. So we're going to talk about what he's been up to. Spoiler alert, he's got kids. So you know what he's up to, keeping those kids entertained. But we'll get into that. What have I been up to? Well, if you watched last night, you know that I had a very, very successful day. No, I didn't yesterday. No, I didn't finish like a script. I didn't raise $10 million for my next show. I made these. Yes, I made buffalo wings myself yesterday. And let me tell you something. I can't actually cook. I can't cook. So I've been using this time to become, as I told my wife this time, I'm never going to be a great cook, but I'm going to be able to cook. Because what's come out of my mouth so often is I can't cook. I can't make wings. I can't make what I made this morning. While everyone was sleeping, I said, I'm a dad now. I got to learn how to do this stuff. So look what I made this morning. Pancakes, sort of. Those are pancakes, I guess. Sort of burnt, half burnt, but they tasted actually okay. I made pancakes. But no, Wayne, my wife didn't help. Damn it. I did them myself. I made, look at, show those one more time. Look at these things. I mean, I think they're pretty great. There's like two that are actually eligible. Anyway, in all seriousness, thank you, Justin. I appreciate it very much. Those took a lot of Shaggy. What the hell does that mean? Anyway, listen, there's a lesson in my pancakes. There's a lesson in my very mediocre pancakes. I went around saying, I can't make pancakes, I can't make pancakes, I can't make wings, I can't make pancakes. Then you know what? I made some effing pancakes. And now I can make pancakes. Doesn't mean they're great, but I make pancakes. And it actually reminded me, this is getting to a point, it reminded me of one of my favorite quotes of all time, which is this: competence occurs in an instant. We go through life saying we can't do things. I can't make pancakes. I can't write a script. I can't sing in front of people. I can't. And then the moment you do it, you've done it. You are competent at it. Doesn't mean you're great, but you've accomplished it. So that's the key. It's just doing stuff, not worrying about the outcome. By the way, I thought they tasted pretty good. As long as you drown enough syrup, pancakes are fine. So go out tomorrow. This is my task to you. Make some pancakes. Whatever your pancakes are, whatever it is you've been saying you can't do, you got time. Give it a shot. Yes, doll, maple syrup covers many sins. Okay, don't forget about the Actors Fund. That's why we're here tonight, to raise some money for the Actors Fund and draw some attention to that wonderful organization. Don't forget to stay away from your neighbors. Everyone's staying away, continuing to social distance as we hit this plateau in this country and want to come down on the other side like it's a roller coaster. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home. That's about it. Let's get to the guest. Please welcome to the live stream, Mr. Justin Guarini. Welcome, Justin.
Hey, thanks for having me.
There he is.
How you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I'm doing really well. I'm taking it a day at a time, just like you and everybody else.
Yeah. Something tells me you make a better pancake than I do. You've got a couple kids.
I'm on child number 3 with my wife.
3?
Yeah, we have 3. So I've been going. My stepdaughter's 15, and I've been in her life since she was 2. And the one thing that I will thank. Well, one of the many things I should say I will thank, and one of the things that he taught me, my father, was how to cook and how to like sew and iron, because his mother, who in order to basically pay for their living, my father's African American, and his mother basically at a time in the early 1900s, in order to survive, because his father was out of the picture, washed floors. And so she taught him all of the cooking and the sewing, the things that were considered, a woman's task back then. And then he passed that on to me, and he said that she said to him, I'm going to teach you how to do all this stuff just in case someday your wife is sick, you'll be able to take care of her. Now, of course, that is a very antiquated mentality, but nonetheless, your point being that, look, I love the fact that you started off with competence occurs in an instant, because it really does. There's so many things that, and I'll tell my students all the time, like, this is an opportunity. This is a huge opportunity for expansion inside of what is really, in essence, one of the greatest contractions of our lifetime.
So tell me about your much more than competence. When did you start singing? Just tell us a little bit about the first time you remember that joy.
Yeah, I remember the first time I really remember singing. I was in the car with my dad, and there was this song called it goes, love lift us up where we belong, where the eagles fly. Yeah, right. Show my age. So like that was, I was in the car and I sang that with him. And then I just remember singing in the car with both my parents, with my father and my mother. We used to love to like pop in the tape, and it was Cool in the Gang, Celebrate. Celebrate good times. That one. And so we would sing that one. Yeah, we would sing that one. And so they just saw that I could sing, I carry a tune in a bucket, as they would say in the South. And like, they said, okay, where can we put him? And it just so happened to be the Atlanta Boys Choir was where we were. We were in Georgia and Atlanta. And they're like, hey, can he audition for this? And I auditioned at 4 years of age and ended up being a little soprano in the choir, and started singing classical and sacred and all kinds of beautiful music.
So where are you right now? You look like you're in a very fancy
It looks real posh, doesn't it? Doesn't it? It's so lovely, best background so far. Oh, Wayne, let me tell you, I don't know if you can see this, because can you make me the whole screen real quick there, Mary? Can you make me the entire? Yes, because if you see here, this is clothing right here. I'm in my spare room, which I have made into a closet, and behind this gorgeous thing are probably the most horrific curtains you'll ever see. Well, they're not horrific, but they're like totally like basic sort of your run-of-the-mill curtains. And so what I do is I have a show. You can put Ken back, please. Put Ken back, Mary. I have a show that I will do Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. right here called So What Happens Now. And so this is the setup for that. But I've got a nice light. But if you could see, I literally have like a dehumidifying unit over here, piles of clothes around it. It is not nearly as sexy as it looks. But, that's the game.
That's what it's all about these days.
Right.
No one cares.
Yeah, exactly.
So tell us about the show, what you're doing. So I mentioned this last night, but you and I, when this started to come down, you and I connected, and we're like, we gotta start
to do something
out there.
Absolutely, because we're kind of go-getters. We like to serve, right? And I have a producer's heart as well. And so like I was just like, I call it because I'm like, who's the person who I know who will get something done if I can shoot some ideas out. And of course I thought of you first, and I picked up the phone and wanted to do something, of course, for the Actors Fund, right? For the people in our industry who are the hardest hit. And so I said, let's try and do something. And it ended up kind of having the idea was already in play. And so we said, okay, well, we're going to do something else. And so we kind of went, and you started this and I started my show, So What Happens Now. And originally it just started on Instagram, just bringing on people live, because I wanted to hear, my whole premise was I want to hear the stories of just everyday people out there who are going through this. What are you going through? Because I saw a lot of my friends bringing on their shiny friends, which I love. And they were singing and they were like, what's going on in your life? And I think that's so beautiful. And I'm all for that. And I'm a part of that, obviously. but I was just like, well, okay, how can I be a little bit different? And I was just like, let me bring on just anybody who wants to come on and talk to me should have the chance to be able to come and talk. And so I started doing it on Instagram, and I put it out there to say, hey, what's your story? Give me 2 paragraphs. I'm going to read your story online. And literally, I mean, when I tell you, I got like pages and pages and pages and pages of stories that I was printing out because I just put it out there. And there were some like, for example, right here, I won't read the whole thing, but it says, hi, Justin, Dr. K here on the front lines of this coronavirus fight, working 48 hours on, 3 hours off, and back at it again. Since 3/13, March 13th, little sleep, eat on the go, and surviving on lemon water. And they just tell me all these things that are going on in their lives. And I wanted to share their stories with everyone. But me, and I know you, it's like we can never be satisfied with just like the beta version. We want to enhance and innovate and just make it better and better and better. And so now we're running like you on StreamYard. We've got all the fancy dancy backgrounds and people. We go to a couple of places on Facebook, building a library on YouTube, and to Periscope and Twitch, which are Periscope and Twitch. I'm gonna tell you, that's Twitter and Twitch. That's the Wild West, basically. We have to turn comments off. But yeah. So in essence, we're doing that and getting people's stories, bringing on guests and experts who can talk about everything from mental health to nutrition to what's going on. And the offshoot of that is a private Facebook group where we invite people who want to text me at the number. Because here, let me see. Let me do this. I'm going to do some shameless promo. Is it?
Please.
Oh, there it is. That's my number right there. 310-510-6034. That is me. And the way I got people's stories was I put out my number and I said, look, text me directly and I will get in touch with you. We'll talk and you tell me your story. And so that's exactly what I did. And people gave me their stories there. And now all they have to do is text me at that number and I give them the, the link to the group. They're allowed in, and it's a Facebook group with just wonderful people who are sharing their stories, supporting one another, who are in there. And I just get to go in and have daily interaction with them, and they have interaction with one another. And it's just like this lovely little family. So it's been fun. And so we're just kind of slowly but surely building, and it's all part of the pivot. I'm sorry I'm talking so much, but that's what I do. Because it's what we have to all pivot, right? It's like you kept having this story of I can't cook, I can't do all this, and now because our worlds have contracted so very much, we have the opportunity to expand and to pivot our businesses and our personal lives. And you're like, hey, I'm going to make some wings. Hey, I'm going to make some pancakes. Hey, I'm going to put together a show. Hey, I'm going to do everything that I can to support the wonderful organization known as the Actors Fund. And that's what we're doing. And it's what we all have the opportunity to do.
It's so true. And I love that. Talk about serving. You're just helping so many people and just throwing up your phone in there. It's amazing. So tell me, like, if I was doing that and I threw up my number and you were out there, what would your story be? Like, tell me, let's get into your world for a second.
Absolutely.
What's going on with you right now?
Absolutely.
How are you dealing with everything?
Yeah. I mean, it's so strange. I was just last night with my wife in the kitchen. I just kind of had to put my head on the cool refrigerator and just was like, this is still so strange. We're only 4 weeks into it, because right now I'm supposed to be in Chicago doing the out of town run at the Nederlander Theater for Once Upon a One More Time. And it's this gorgeous show that we were working so hard on. It's got like, it's just beautiful. And I mean, I know I'm biased, right? I'm in the show, but like, it really is this gorgeous, funny, perfect show for what we're all going through. And ultimately, I believe that it's going to be one of the best shows that we can have in terms of a jukebox musical when we come out of this, right? And so it just is so strange because now I'm home and I'm used to being home and I love being home because we have this sort of feast and famine cycle in the acting world, right? Where it's like you're either working for long stretches of time or working not for long stretches of time or whatever. And so it's been a challenge for me because I've had to really, I'm someone who's go, 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 go. If you can't tell by the fact that I will talk until the cows come home, but I've had to really learn how to take time for myself. I've learned how to really just budget and structure my day in a way. But I know that there are so many things really in terms of like financial things that I want to get to, house things that I want to get to, even relationship things. Like I don't spend nearly enough time with my 15-year-old daughter as I want to. And so that's something like, so all of that energy that I put into creation and like making a character and studying and doing all these things for my art, I'm now putting into the things in my life that I've been like, well, I don't have enough time for that, or oh, I'll get to that at some point. And so that's where my life is. It's just finding my equilibrium in the new normal, which is challenging.
Where were you in rehearsals when this started? You were.
Yeah, we were in rehearsals at New 42nd Street Studios, right, basically in Times Square, right near where Aladdin is, I think, right now, the New Amsterdam. And so, yeah, we were in rehearsals. We were about maybe 2.5 weeks into rehearsals, gearing up for Chicago. I mean, so many of us had put deposits down on Airbnbs and corporate housing in Chicago, and it just all came to a grinding halt. And I feel badly. It was bad enough for us and for the production itself. But if you look at darling people like Rob McClure, the amazing women in Six, like the Six, the shutdown, the Broadway shutdown happened on the opening night of Six. Rob McClure in Mrs. Doubtfire, did all this work. There's this beautiful promo that he did on social media, and everyone was dying to see what he looked like. And he revealed it, and then it's like, we're gonna do this. This is great, and then boom, it gets shut down, and things like Beetlejuice closing and so many of the shows that we love not being available, and some of the people that I know you and I have wonderful relationships with and adore not being able to carry through with the work that they put in. So, yes, we were in rehearsals, but we didn't have it nearly as bad as other people. But I have a question for you. I would love to know from your producer's perspective. Thank you very much. It's the Justin Guarini Show. It's Justin's perspective.
Make Justin big again. Make Justin big again.
Yeah. So I just flew in and boy, my arm's tired. So I would love to know from your perspective, what do you see the forecast for Broadway being, for theater being? When do you see it coming back? Like, even if there were a magic wand that said, we're all safe, you can go back in May 1st, which isn't going to happen. Yeah. But you know what I mean? But if that were to happen, what's your perspective on when it's actually going to come back in a way that's meaningful?
Yeah, it's obviously the question that everyone asks. And every time I think I have an answer, 48 hours later, I have a different answer.
Yeah.
And, what I keep saying to everybody is we're losing 6 months of, it's just like we're picking it up and moving it. It's 6 months. There's no question about it before anything starts back up again.
Yeah.
And then it's certainly going to take some time. I mean, our audience is 44 years old and older, which is more of an at-risk population. So it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to come back strong, because I do think the moment the doors are open, although now we're talking about not being allowed to have full houses in those first few weeks, which I need to learn more about, because I'm not sure how that feels.
Yeah.
I think it may take away from the experience a bit. even when you go to a show right now, if it's not sold out, you're like, where is everybody?
Well, and yeah, from being on the stage, I mean, that kind of energy. It's like the audience is the last cast member, right? It's like the 11th man or whatever that would be in basketball terms, right? And so, yeah, I can imagine that would be challenging. I also couldn't see how, from an operating cost standpoint, a lot of that would work, especially for some smaller theaters, So, and it's very interesting.
It's going to take a lot of help, and the longer it goes, the less. It's just like anything else. If you stop doing something for a long period of time, going to the gym, whatever it is, the longer you stop doing it, the harder it is to get back to it. It's a habit.
Yeah.
So for all those people, that theater going is a habit. Every day that passes, it's just a little hard to get them back into the habit.
Yeah.
So it's going to take more effort. We will get there 100%. The big, somewhat spinny quote, but look, the theater has survived for thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
It's true.
Like, this is the age-old art form. We've survived. People used to say the internet was going to kill it, or streaming was going to. We've survived the radio, the television, like all this stuff. We've survived world wars, for God's sakes, right? World wars.
Absolutely.
1, 2 plagues, all sorts of stuff. So we will get through this. It's just going to be a little tough for a bit.
Yeah, well, that's understandable, and I think that if another question I had for you, because hey, I'm going to interview you now.
Yeah.
Is
going the way it's supposed to go.
What is your perspective as a producer about the Broadway online? Is it Broadway streaming? Broadway, not Broadway HD. That's a different company, but the actual Broadway streaming. How do you feel about that?
I obviously love a stream. I don't, we streamed Daddy Longlegs, and it was very successful, but it's successful about marketing Broadway. I think of it like it's a little bit different, because baseball and professional sports rely on television rights in order to pay for everything. I think it just, like, streaming helps market the live experience. Like, when I was a kid, I actually watched Red Sox games, and all that I wanted to do was go to Fenway Park.
Yeah, of course.
So we just have to be a little controlled in how we do it. But I'm a fan, just not blanket. So we'll see how it happens.
I think it's a sort of, I would stopgap be the right word to use. I'm not sure, but I think it's good. Like, from a certainly from a producer's, maybe, and even a theater owners and creative standpoint, yes, I think that's great, and I think it will help to inject, keep interest up, help to generate some revenue. There's a whole thing from the performers side that can be very, very challenging, which is why we have our union, which is but I think all in all, yeah, it's great. And I think, like you say, really it should be something that should not be a blanket. Don't get used to it, but it should be something that just gives us just a little something till we get back to the live experience, because nothing will ever compare to the live experience.
Not at all. Speaking of questions, let's get them off me and on back to you, and take some questions from some folks in the comment section. Wayne Stafford asks, what is a skill you do not have that you want to develop? Kind of like me and cooking.
What is a skill that I do not have that I want to develop? You know what? And I'll tell you right off the bat, there is, and I'm not horrible, but there certainly is a mastery that I would like to develop for the game of money mastery. Really, that's it for me. It's like, I love the fact that this is happening right now, because it affords me the opportunity to completely restructure my finances from a personal and from a business side. And so really, and again, I don't know, I think the phrase that you coined, Ken, entrepreneur, is so bang on, because like that is what I am. I've always had this sort of nerdy, I was painting today. You can see I was doing some painting. I've always had this nerdy sort of like marketing, interested in the science of certain things. And then of course this creativity thing. And then like being an entrepreneur and starting a business and going down this entrepreneurial sort of like, oh man, tunnel with the light at the end of it that just keeps, you're just like, it's there, it's the light's there, I'll get there eventually, has been so fascinating to me. So I think really mastering the game and the art of money, especially in what would be considered a financial downturn at this point, and learning how to take what it is that I have and have amassed and to make it grow, even though everything else, including the economy, is shrinking. So that's a real sort of dry answer, but that's it.
That's it's a great one. I'm Googling frantically on the other because one of my favorite quotes, and I love that you just brought that up. Another favorite quote of mine, and I'm gonna put it in the. So I'm looking at multiple screens here. Mary's gonna throw this into the comments right now. You'll never believe. So I'm gonna throw the quote up first, everybody, okay, and then we'll play a little game. And see if you can tell who said it. Who said it? Here it is. Being good in business is the most fascinating kind of art. Making money is art, and working is art, and good business is the best art. Anyone have any ideas on who said that? Anyone want to guess? Justin.
I mean, I'll say Warren Buffett, maybe?
That's a very good guess. And the answer, Mary Gina, put up the answer. Warren Buffett is who you would think would say something like this. Mary, Andy Warhol.
Of course. Of
so
course.
This is like, it's such a great quote because it's a like Andy Warhol knew that if he was good at business and the business of art and making money, he would actually get his art out to a bigger audience, which was his whole fucking point.
Yeah, exactly.
So this whole starving, I need to be a starving artist. Oh, the people wear like a badge of honor. Like, no, artists should go out and try to make as much money as they can so that they can get their art out there in the world and they could spend all their time working on their art.
Yeah, I mean, so many of the people I know, including myself at a certain point in my life, were just that starving artist. But something that my father said to me when I said, I want to be an artist, I want to be a singer, he's like, okay, great, but study the business of singing, study the business of music theater. And that's what I tell my kids. You know, my son loves Fortnite. He's about to turn 9 this Sunday, and you know, it's this wild game. If anybody knows, any parents or anybody who plays it, well, no, it's this just wild game, and you can have 100 people in there fighting in these battles. And he's like, I think I want to be a professional video gamer. I was like, hey, you know, I mean, in the back of my head, I'm like, oh God, no, please God, no. But in the front, I'm like, all right, look, and I'm not going to shoot down his dreams because maybe he is. But I said, okay, great. Well, then study the business of video game making, study the business of being a professional video gamer if that's what you want to do. And it's such great advice. That quote from Warhol is such great advice too, because it is so true. You don't have to be a starving artist. You deserve to put your art and your work out there, and that takes study.
For sure. I love it. So you're such an inspiring guy yourself. Sounds like you learned from your parents and now you're passing that on, which I love. Any tips for the audience out there watching tonight on how to get through the next several weeks or however long it's going to be, staying positive, staying up? And
yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, well, first of all, you know, let me hear, I know I think I said it to you privately, but really condolences for your loss. And I know that that's something that is heavy on my mind as well. My father is 84 and my stepfather's 86. And so, you know, I worry about that all the time, and I'm so sorry, my family, and I send so much love to you. And, you know, obviously you are not alone in having lost someone. And so there are going to be challenges that we're just seeing the beginnings of right now. And it's almost like that hurricane that's way out to sea that we're looking at. You know, yes, we've been doing this for about 4 weeks right now, and it's a challenge. But you know, I think the real true challenges lie ahead. That the hurricane is about, you know, 30, 40, 50 miles offshore, and people are running off the beaches already. And I think that that's smart. But what I would say, one of the biggest things that I would tell people, that I always tell people, is that this is an opportunity. I mean, if it's not like you didn't start, if you didn't start the day one of the quarantine, it's fine. We're 4 weeks in and we've got a lot of time. Like you said, it's that 6 months that we're moving, or that 4 months if it's just regular life that we're moving. So recognize that this is an opportunity to expand. Expansion is the key. You have no more excuses left, right? You don't have any excuses left to expand. And the way I like to frame that is, since, let's just say, 1900, our world has been going through a massive expansion. The radio, the television, the planes, cars, so much technology. I mean, you want to fast forward way, civil rights. Think about how many things have changed for the LGBTQIA plus, etc. community. All of these things have been in an expansion, and with a matter of just a week, 4 weeks now, we've already been contracted, and now all of this world, all of this travel now is so much easier to do than it was in 1900, right? There's so many things that our world was just so huge, and now it's into the four walls of our house. But recognize that within the contraction, there's an opportunity to expand. So those things that you have been putting off, whether that's with your body, the way you eat, the way you exercise, whether that's with your spirituality, your connection to God, if that's what you want to call it, nature, universe, Yahweh, Buddha, whatever you want to call it, what's going on there? What's going on in your relationships with yourself, with your loved ones, with your other family members and friends? And then what's going on in your business, your financial world, your business, in terms of if you have been furloughed or laid off of a job, what then is the pivot? How can you take this time? Because it's not too late. We've been doing this for 4 weeks, and we're going to be doing it in some measure for possibly another year on and off, right? So we have time now to pivot and to expand in our lives and in our business. And if you can just begin to focus on just fixing, or not fixing necessarily, that might be the great word, but like just focusing on expanding some area of your life, whether that's in your body or in your spirituality or in your relationships or in your business, you're going to see massive changes in your life. And while everybody else is sticking themselves in front of the TV or on the screen watching Netflix, which I have no problem with, I do it too. But while everyone is just trying to hide, I think it's time for you and me and people who are like, okay, I'm not going to settle for just contracting into nothing, to double down. Those people like you, I have seen more emails from you, more marketing from you. You have doubled down on everything that you are doing. And it is it is so inspiring to me, because that's it. That's it. Like what you're doing now, double down on your marketing. If you have a business, double down on your fitness, double down on your spirituality, double down on creating healthy relationships in your life. And I guarantee you will come out of this so much stronger, so much happier, so much healthier, so much more well off than probably when you started, or probably if this had not happened. So that's my spiel, getting off my soapbox.
Listen, I so love it. And I'll just tell you, doubling down on everything that you just said also just makes the days pass quicker. It just fills up the time. Like, don't leave yourself in.
I've noticed that the days have been passing really quickly.
Yeah.
I'll be doing something, then I'll look up, and all of a sudden it's like, it's lunchtime again? It's dinner again? Like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And it's not like I'm sitting twiddling my thumbs, but it seems to be going really quickly, and it makes me all the more cognizant of, okay, I've got to make these moments count. Now, not every moment can count. Some days I just am like, today I'm not going to do anything, and that's okay. It's okay to not be okay. And I think that so many things that we have either put off to the side, whether that's mental health or the relationships that may or may not be toxic in our lives, those things that we put aside, they come into sharp relief now. And again, like I always say, this is an opportunity to really double down on all the things that you have been putting off, or maybe have been kind of hedging around, or using social media, or using going to a job, or using going to the bar, or whatever it is, wherever you go to run away, as an excuse.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it does seem to be that it's always just like, wow, it's already lunchtime. It's already dinner. It's already time for pancakes.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I'm proud of you for those wings too. Those wings are no joke.
It's the Ninja Foodie. We are sponsored by the Ninja Foodie. Mary, get an image of the Ninja Foodie for tomorrow's live stream.
Ninja Foodie.
Thank you so much for being with us, man. I so
Pleasure.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks for inspiring everybody.
Thank you for having me on, and I wish you all the best.
You too, man. Take care. Justin Guarini, you can see why I like hanging out with that guy too. We had Mary Lou Henner last night, and Justin Guarini tonight, two of the most inspiring people I know. I hope you enjoyed them. Do watch Justin's show. Literally, Justin and I were like texting and calling like the moment after this all started, like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Trying to figure out what to do. I started doing this. He started doing his own show. We have that graphic. Mary put it up for everyone to see. There it is. So what happens now? And she also put his phone number in the comments. You can text Justin Guarini. It's like, that's only on the Producer's Perspective Live do we give out celebrities' phone numbers. So text Justin, let him know what's going on. Watch that show. Super important work he's doing. Talk about, that's that big question. How can I serve? How can I help other people? And Justin is such a great example of doing just that. Speaking of helping other people, don't forget about the Actors Fund. The Actors Fund is a great organization to support, so check them out. Don't forget, tomorrow we have Kenny Leon, Broadway director, television director Kenny Leon. He is doing a show of mine, actually, as well. He's going to tell us what he's been up to. He and I play a lot of golf together, so we'll commiserate about not being able to do that as well. Don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy, and stay home. And now it's time to make you smile. And no, I'm not showing the pancakes again. I know that makes you smile because you just laugh your ass off about my shaggy pancakes. Whoever made that comment about my shaggy pancakes. That's going to be a new thing around my house. Whenever we make something that's not so great, I'm like, those look a little shaggy. Anyway, something to make you smile. This is Hello from the Inside, an Adele parody by Chris Mann. I just love that image of him. Hello. I'm shouting out to neighbors who I used to like to see. So go to the producersperspective.com/smile. Mary, throw that link up in there. You know, we're collecting all of the smiles. So you can just, it's like a Tumblr account. If you know what that is, just scroll on down, check them all there. It's, if you're going to get lost in something, get lost. Don't get lost in CNN or any of those cesspool news sites that are like animals. That was a fox dig. Go to producersperspective.com/smile, get lost there, and get lost in your own joy. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Kenny Leon tomorrow and a whole host of other people. We've got a theme song coming. I think I'm getting a new hat. I'll tell you why I'm getting a hat at a future episode for sure. That's it for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, guys.